The question that I just heard was, why do I believe that succession planning is so important to small business owners? Succession planning is actually important in a variety of ways, and that is for exit strategy number one. When you actually start a business or you buy a business, you want to purchase or start that business with the end in mind, because that's what helps you to establish the goals moving forward so that you can complete that exit strategy when you choose to. And so you'll put all the systems in place so that you're at that point, so that if part of your exit strategy is to retire and still keep a pulse on the business, you'll have the systems and the metrics in place within that company at the time that you can back off and be able to travel, retire, enjoy some time off, and still keep your pulse on the business because you have managers dedicated to operating the business that are now running it for you, but you can monitor how things are doing. And if you still want to keep, 5 hours, 10 hours a month going towards that business, that's up to you. The other thing would be if the succession plan has to do with wanting to pass it on to family or to the employees themselves, same thing. You'll want to create a company that is operational, has systems and procedures in place so that it is actually functioning like a company and not just a job, so that you're not key to the operations. The entire operations key that you held has been built into the administrations and the systems and procedures. Also, succession planning, though, comes up when you're looking at if anything should happen to you along the way. As a small business owner, you are your business. And if you haven't developed the business in mind that in your absence, whether it's for a vacation, which would be a more positive manner for succession, or whether something happens. I know a few years back I broke my wrist and I was actually away from my business for a 6-week period. And as a consultant, that's very critical because I was a main part of the business at that point in time. And it was very good to know that the succession procedures that I had built in to the companies, it continued to operate over that 6-week period with minimal amount of my time and effort necessary. I could do a lot more through internet, through emails, through the telephone. And so it just helped me to understand what was lacking in my succession plan as well as what was working. So as a business owner, you need to look at that because we can't predict what's going to happen. We can't predict if there's going to be an illness. I've had clients that have been out of their office from pneumonia for well over a month and had to really create things to take their place at that point because they didn't have a succession plan for that time. So when we talk succession plan, we're not just talking an exit strategy. And I do know that when you're trying to achieve a large contract, whether that's in the private sector or in the government sector, they are going to want to know through your proposal what your succession plan is in regards to procuring that contract, especially if there are key elements to your team. If something were to happen to any key element of your team or equipment, then they want to know what would your plan, your backup plan, plan B, be to continue on that contract effectively. So there's a lot of reasons for succession planning, and I believe that it's more important that I help as a consultant people to understand all of the parts of a succession plan that you need to build into a business, but it's the key to a successful business.